I stand up in opposition of this amendment, and I stand up for educational equity training for our teachers. Mr. Speaker, can I read from the amendment?
Please proceed.
This amendment prohibits any individual from feeling discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress on account of their race or sex. Mr. Speaker, as a mental health counselor, we can't control someone else's feelings. Anti-oppression training is about everyone feeling valued. It is not about making them feel bad, but we cannot control that. Educators need to be prepared to teach every child. No child should be left out. But as a Latina, Mr. Speaker, I have spent years listening to partial truths and parts of history that was ignored or deleted, from preschool to 2 master's degrees, Mr. Speaker. As a trainer, I know that change comes through wrestling with different topics, and grappling with racial equity is often uncomfortable. Oh, but how much I wish that some of my teachers would have had the opportunity to be in those uncomfortable conversations, so they would have known how to lift every student up in their classroom. I am so grateful for my education, Mr. Speaker, but it was fraught with many painful moments of exclusion, marginalization, dismissal, and yes, even attacks. How we talked about slavery, stolen lands, encampments, and colonization left so many scars that I'm still learning to heal from them. Mr. Speaker, this happened to me decades ago, but fast forward to recent years as a school counselor, I have had students crying in my office because lack of inclusion, diversity, acceptance. Years later, I continue to hear my story again and again. If we want to ensure that this doesn't happen, we need to educate our teachers so they teach with equity in mind. We need to speak the truth, and it might take them entering into uncomfortable conversations. We know that if we ignore history, we repeat it. Mr. Speaker, I don't know about you, but I am so tired of repeating history. So please vote no. We have heard from many teachers, directors, principals, students, parents for years about the need to make sure that this training goes out to everybody. We have heard the damage that it does, and we have heard students say how they fake stomach aches so that they don't have to enter a hostile climate. You've heard us tonight. We're pretty passionate about this because we were students, we are parents, we are teachers, we are board members, and we've seen the damage when a system doesn't work for all of us. Mr. Speaker, I had other words that I had written down, but I'm part of a thread of a bunch of students and teachers that are watching this right now, and I want to read a few of their messages. They ask, for anyone who votes no on this, what if your child...
Was the member requesting permission to read?
Mr. Speaker.
Please proceed if you're requesting permission to read.
Okay, let me request to speak, Mr. Speaker, so I can just read them all the way through then. I was just going to cite a few examples, but I can read them. They said, what if your child was the one that was different and all the adults in that class in the school didn't look like them? Would you care how much time it takes to train them? Would you care that your child is in pain for 7 hours a day? Would you care about local control? Would you care about hearing time and time again how ignorance is, it's just ignorance, when ignorance is really damaging? One student said, this hurts so bad. Another one said, I'm fighting hard not to lose hope. Mr. Speaker, these are the words of our children. These are the words of students that look different in our classrooms in a system that was not built for them, and a system that often causes much pain for them and their families. And we are here in 2021 arguing about whether or not we provide training for them.
The member has 30 seconds remaining.
Speaker, I just want to say that the system has failed our students. We have failed our students when we are still discussing this. Every system needs to work for every student. This should not be debatable, and we can make every excuse we want. The bottom line is, it needs to work for all. Please vote yes.